and Russia and maybe Venezuela. That's the problem.
And Park Avenue and Fifth Avenue and Wall Street.
All right. Ahead, a chilling warning that Russia could do the unthinkable and unleash chemical weapons on Ukraine.
For investors who can navigate this landscape, leveraging gold.
Bueno, me Fury, si te quieres ir para Disney. Bueno, me Fury, si te quieres ir para Disney, tienes dos caminos. Está la 95 y está el Tom Payne. Lo malo del Tom Payne es que te meten una pila de doble, tú sabes. Y si quieres ahorrar estilla, vete por el 95, que es un poco más económico.
Yo no voy a dar toda esa vuelta. Yo mejor me voy por el Tom Payne. Lleno el tanque de la camioneta con 30 pesos y voy directo, no pierdo tiempo.
Me Fury.
¿Qué?
La gasolina.
¿La gasolina qué?
La gasolina se disparó y está casi 5 pesos. Y dicen que no va a bajar. Estuve hablando con los muchachos, estuvimos sacando unas cuentas y como tú te compraste una heavy duty para jalar el bote y eso, a 25 balones que lleva eso, a 4 y pico que está la gasolina, te van a hacer falta unos 128 pesos para llenar el tanque. No vas a llegar ni a West Palm Beach.
Yo me acuerdo que con Tron yo llenaba la camioneta con 30 pesos.
Pues mira, ahora con 30 pesos no la puedes llenar, ¿sabes?
¿Cómo que no la puedo llenar? ¿Cómo que no la puedo llenar? ¿A dónde vamos a parar, caballero? No puedo ir a ningún lugar porque no estoy vacunado. Donde único podía ir era a Disney. Y ahora este viejo pone la gasolina 5 pesos. 5 pesos.
Pero por lo menos vaya y no dice los disparates que decía Trump.
Disparate pagar la gasolina 5 cañas. Nah, pero yo no me quedo con esto por dentro. Yo se lo digo en su cara. Rubio, atiéndeme. Comunícame con Biden ahí para decirle las cosas en su cara ahí.
Sí, ya lo tengo en la línea ya. Está en una heladería en estos momentos.
¿Quién es?
El viejo ese lo único que sabe es comer helado.
Me Fury, está aquí, lo va a escuchar, te voy a oír.
Ahí, dame acá. Aló, Biden. ¿Qué par de huevos, Pipo? A 5 cañas, ¿no?
A ver, viejo, espérate, tranquilo. Si quieres ir a Disney, aprovecha ahora porque la voy a subir un poquito más. Un poquito más nada más. Este mes la subo más.
¿Y a cuánto más la vas a subir, hijo de puta?
¿Y a cuánto más va a subir este mes?
Al doble.
Al doble.
Ojalá que te caiga mal el helado que te estás comiendo y te dé ganas de cagar por la madrugada y camino para el baño tropieces con el perro y te descojones todo. Ay, señores, ese tipo no entiende, ¿viste? Me dijo que va a subir al doble la gasolina. Ya este país se va a la mierda ya. Ay, coño. Voy a tener que comprar una.
Entonces por fin, ¿qué va a hacer? ¿Se va a ir para Disney o no se va a ir para Disney?
No voy ni pinga.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know if you got to understand that. But those are my dogs, Los Peachy Boys, completely in Spanish, but it's like Cuban Spanish. It's all the same. It's Spanish, but it's with a Cuban accent. So it's extremely hilarious if you speak Spanish and understand it pretty fluently.
Insane.
You can still kind of understand what they're talking about, but it's just fucking hilarious, ladies and gentlemen. It's a fucking hilarious video. I just wanted to share that with you guys. Milos for that. Hey, that shit was funny, man. That shit was fucking hilarious. I saw that shit today. And my God, bro, that shit fucking cracked me up. Motherfuckers talking about, I used to fill my tank up with $30 under Trump, under $30 under Trump, and they're like, nah, you're not going to be able to do that shit anymore. $128. It's going to be $128 based on the calculation. It's just fucking hilarious. Nah, you're very welcome. I'll drop it in the chat too, by the way. Let me actually do something here. Let me drop it in the chat. If you guys want to check it out. If you guys want to share it with anybody, look, check it out. I'm gonna
severe damage to both my arms and hands when I stepped on an IED in Afghanistan.
Give me a second.
I'm asking you to donate $11.
There's the link right there.
Others who are injured, protecting our country. Please visit Tunnel.
I'll check it out. Jet Wash. I'll play it on the next commercial break. I'll play it on the next commercial break for sure. I got you.
As Russia ramps up attacks on civilian targets, the Biden administration warning Putin could use chemical or biological weapons in Ukraine.
What we endeavored to do when we put out the information yesterday is to remind the world of the large biological and chemical weapons program that Russia has, the fact that they have used it in the past against dissidents on their soil and on NATO soil.
We know the track record of the Kremlin. This is a government that has used banned chemical weapons on its own people. So we know what this government will resort to, can resort to, has resorted to in the past.
Jesse, what do you make of this?
They could use something on a city if things weren't going well. You know, they can't do urban combat very well. It's very hard to do that. And so I could see them threatening that with Kyiv. So I don't know what they're capable of, but they're capable of a lot. From what I heard, there are 2 biolabs in that country, one in Odessa, one in Kyiv. And the U.S. government has involvement with it because we say that they're there to protect against deadly pathogens and, you know, swine flu and avian flu and things like that. U.S. senators have been involved in trying to create these centers and protect these centers after the Soviet Union collapsed. We're still there. We still have a footprint. So I guess we're saying that if Putin takes Odessa or takes Kyiv, then those biolabs would be vulnerable to Russian forces. And then God knows what you could do with any of these little samples. You saw what happened in Wuhan. You get a sample loose and you get a pandemic. So I think there is a lot of concern there.
Dana, whenever there's a chemical weapon attack, it's like, it seems like in recent experience, both sides blame each other. It's like, and they don't take responsibility for their own atrocities. This is another case where you need a war ump.
Well, what's interesting is, like, so remember, Assad did this on his own people in Syria, and who was Assad's patron in that war was Putin.
Yeah.
And so he didn't care. And so I wouldn't put it past them. And also the UK said something similar. Well, almost the exact same thing. So I'm assuming the United States and the UK have the same intelligence. And why would they share it, right? This is a strategy that they've been using over the past several months to say, we know what Putin's about to do. We know what he's about to do. Now, that hasn't necessarily deterred things from happening, but perhaps this also sends a message to China. If China has the ear of Putin, and if they get wind that this is a possibility, and they know about having this junior partner in the new Cold War that they are going to basically have to take care of for the rest of their lives, they might say, you better not.
Yeah, that's a good point.
That might be useful.
Yeah, because a judge, I mean, he's already a pariah. He's turning Russia into a pariah nation. Use chemical weapons. I don't think there's any turning back, especially in this kind of war with the visuals. There's no way.
You know what, Greg? It's all about the visuals. And that's the difference between Syria and Aleppo and Chechnya. It's about the visuals, so we can see it.
Agreed.
And I think that he will be seen as a pariah. But again, he's gotten away with so much up to this point. You have to say, you know, who's going to step up and tell him he can't? Okay. And what I think is interesting about these biolabs, you know, we deny. It's preposterous. Don't waste it, you know, any ink on it. And yet, isn't it interesting that we haven't heard or seen Fauci in weeks? You know, I mean, I'd love to, yeah. Why did he disappear? I'd love to ask him if he knows anything about that.
Give Fauci a rest, for goodness sake.
No, I don't want to. Now it's time for him to face some questions.
I think
Fauci's mad because Zelensky's getting more ink. Let's be honest.
People got bored with the regular war narrative, so now it became, for the last 48 hours, all about bio and chemical. He's not going to use it.
Okay, Geraldo, one of
he's
the
more likely to
officials
use a
from the Biden
tactical nuclear
administration
weapon.
testified that there's labs in the country.
What?
That's why it came out, not because of boredom.
So how did it come out, and now suddenly it's the headline everywhere?
No, it came out in
there were whole shows
It was
devoted
in
to
the
it.
hearing on Capitol Hill about worldwide threats.
Well, I think that the hearing should be about Mariupol, which is the Guernica.
Well,
you know Guernica?
You should run for office.
That Picasso picture of the people watching the bombs fall, the seminal picture, the image of the Spanish Civil War, 1937.
This guy's an animal. What makes you think he's past doing something like that?
I think that there are some steps you don't take. Some steps.
You may, but he doesn't.
Even Putin. Putin is already a pariah.
All right. Ahead, another amazingly tone-deaf comment from the Biden administration about Ukraine.
Oh, this one.
Do you think you're better off alone?
The Biden administration just can't help but use the Ukraine refugee crisis to push their liberal green agenda. Climate czar John Kerry making this outrageous comment.
If you think migration has been a problem in Europe from the Syrian war, or even from what we see now, wait till you see 100 million people for whom the entire food production capacity has collapsed.
Greg.
I love this talking canoe paddle. Because he's a great reminder of like the problem of having a single ideological filter. So he sees everything through the filter of climate, and he comes off as a buffoon because he applies it in non-climate issues.
Yes.
So he just inserts it everywhere. And you see modern academics do that with except their filter is America as an oppressor. CNN for 7 years, their filter was race. And what did that do? It created tribalism and no ratings. So it's really bad. It's the best advice for somebody who wants to be successful in life is to have a number of filters that you can use. I tend to see everything through the prism of media persuasion, which at times is amazing, but other times, you know, makes me an insensitive jerk.
That's the prism.
You said it, we didn't.
But I admit it.
All right. I thought there was another prism in there somewhere.
Well,
Greg.
there is one.
There is one. It's disgusting. Dana, what are your thoughts on the human
now I'm really
battle?
interested.
Well, I think Secretary Kerry, well, he's also now he's the climate czar, which
Czar
is a little
Kerry.
weird, right? Like, please let's drop the czar term at the White House. He's very mission focused, and that's all he's going to talk about. But think about, he was the Secretary of State. He had all the issues. And he could be the person that they help bring in to like make something happen, like something creative. And instead, he's talking about this. Food prices are going to go up because no food can be grown or get out of the breadbasket of the world in Ukraine and Russia. And there will be uprisings, and it won't necessarily just be because of climate change. It will be because of the cost of food, like what happened in Egypt in 2008.
Yep, it's going to get crazy in the Mideast with the wheat. Geraldo?
But it is true, Jesse, that millions of people have been uprooted by this, and millions more will be. You have entire populations on the move. This is the biggest refugee crisis, dwarfing Afghanistan and Syria in Europe. Wait until all these people start going west into these other countries. At what point can will Poland say, enough, basta, I can't handle anymore?
What was it? Enough pasta?
Pasta.
Got it.
Pasta. Yeah, when are we going to start taking these refugees in?
I can't wait. The vice president basically whiffed.
Well, but you know what? It seems we're taking everybody else in. I mean, we could either bring them in through the Mexican border, or we should let them come.
These are real, honest to God refugees.
Yeah,
They're escaping a war.
And these
They're
are
not
people
looking for a job.
And by
Cleveland
the
will
way,
love them. We love them.
These are freedom fighters. These are people who believe in the same things that we believe in. I mean, their families are staying back to fight for freedom and for their country. They believe in Ukraine. They believe in their mission. We want them here.
Do you think Biden's worried that the Ukrainian refugees might vote Republican?
Yeah, kind of like the Cuban refugees. Remember? We met when Mayorkas.
I don't know what he
not from
believes,
Cuba.
but I'm shocked that he hasn't invited more of them here.
That's a good angle. Biden doesn't want Ukrainian refugees because they'll vote Republican. I just wrote your headline.
That wasn't my idea, by the way.
Sounded like it was.
No, it wasn't.
I just spun it for
No,
people
it
that
wasn't.
hate you, Jesse.
More breaking news. There's a lot of those from Ukraine next.
And Doug.
I think it's clear to Americans that what happened on January 6th was not legitimate political discourse. Storming the Capitol in an attempt to halt the peaceful transition of power is not legitimate political discourse. Neither is attacking and injuring over 140 police officers, smashing windows, and defiling offices.
Thanks very much. Senator Johnson.
I push my fingers into my eyes. It's the only thing that slowly stops the ache. But it's made of all the things I have to take. Jesus who never lands, it works its way inside. If the pain goes on, I have screamed until my face collapsed. I've waited as my time's elapsed. Now all I do is live with so much fate. I've wished for this, I've bitched at that. I've left behind this little fact. You cannot kill what you did not create. I've got to say what I've got to say, and then I swear I'll go away. But I can't promise you'll enjoy the noise. I guess I'll save the best for last. My future seems like one big past. You left with me because you left me no choice. I push my fingers into my eyes. It's the only thing that slowly stops me. If the pain goes on, I'm not gonna make it. Put me back together or separate the skin from bone. Leave me all the pieces, and you can leave me alone. Tell me the reality is better than the dream, but I found out the hard way. Nothing is what it seems. I push my fingers into my eyes. It's the only thing that slowly stops me. But it's made of all the things I have to take. Jesus who never ends, it works its way inside. If the pain goes on, I'm not gonna make it. All I've got is insane. 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 I push my fingers into my eyes. It's the only thing that slowly stops me.
Thanks very much. Senator Johnson.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and Madam Secretary.
I don't endorse it, but it was at least someone thinking outside the box. They thought about maybe setting up a no-fly zone in Lviv, which is way west. There's no Russian forces anywhere near there.
Okay.
And you kind of dare the Russians to touch that, and it shows presence and it shows initiative.
Okay.
Did you just
Geraldo.
hurry me up?
I did.
Of all people, Geraldo.
All the talk of fake news and the other debates internally, don't for a second think we don't absolutely support the patriot Ukrainian people fighting for their survival. We love them.
We do.
We give them all our props.
Dana.
I think I'm going to piggyback on something that Jesse said. When I read Dan Henninger's The Wall Street Journal columns, it said that like that's creative because basically it would do like with Berlin after the World War. So that was an idea. At least there's something.
So
Coming
what do
from
you
the
think of
press.
that, Greg? Berlin.
I don't know. I'm hoping that we do some majestic mediation with a Truth and Reconciliation Committee built into it. But I don't know how we can keep this from going truly catastrophic. Sorry to be depressing.
I don't know that truth has anything to do with politics, but that's it for us. Special report up next. Hey, Brett.
Hey, Joe.
All right, folks. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Again, this is Crippy Rob, the political pothead, aka Cannabis Convict. I am going to be going live at 7:40ish for Tucker. So I'll go on live 20 minutes prior to, but there will be no show tonight. Today's Thursday. I'll be doing my live stream tomorrow, Friday. I'm going to be doing it 3 days a week, ladies and gentlemen, not every single day. Again, this is Crippy Rob, the political pothead, aka Cannabis Convict. Make sure you're subscribed to my main channel, folks. You can catch Tucker later on this evening. Do appreciate it. Thank you so much. Later.